What is Nitro Boost? We're going to tell you right now. This is from the Habitat Podcast episode with Al Temechko and myself. Tune in more, like, and subscribe.
Yeah, well, obviously, our whole play on the brand and in the names is maximizing biology and maximizing biological communications within the soil profile. Hence the name Nitro Boost and Carbon Load. You can start it in the spring, and then the spring gets the ground prepped for the fall, or you can start in the fall, and the fall gets the ground prepped for the spring. But if you start in the fall and then go into the spring, you hear Carbon Load and then Nitro Boost, which is carbon and then nitrogen, which is really, most people are familiar with carbon to nitrogen ratios, be it from composting or other podcasts we've talked about. What we did this year in Nitro Boost is we always are very cognizant of that carbon to nitrogen ratio, not only from one planting to the second planting, but also within a singular planting, and how that's going to impact soil biology, residue breakdown, and feeding subsequent plantings thereafter. And one of the things that we wanted to do was increase below and above ground biomass. So we actually added, so Nitro Boost, I believe, I'm going off memory here, but was always 13 species. This year it's actually going to be 14. So we increased the species count, and we rebalanced some of the mix. And that new species that we're adding is actually going to be Sudan grass. Don't worry, it's not grass like you would think of a ryegrass. It looks like sorghum, but it's been used as a cover crop for many, many years. We did some testing on it last year, and we're really impressed with not only the root biomass creation, but also the above ground biomass. So if you look up Sudan grass, you can see some of the things that it's known for. Everything from nematode control, which obviously in systems you can have negative biology as well as good biology. So it's good at that. It's good at breaking up compaction because it is a really robust fibrous root system. And then of course its above ground biomass is going to be loaded with nutrients. You don't grow a 6, 7, 8 foot tall plant without having it loaded with nutrients. And we were able to do that in systems last year without any fertilization. So we got a ton of biomass out of that crop. And it's going to go right alongside our sorghum. So it's going to have really good vertical structure in that field. It's a non-browsable species, and it's also really, really drought resistant. So you're going to have additional vertical growth. And then, of course, we have our beans and our peas and our lab and our sun hemp, etc. We did further increase our sun hemp percentages a little bit, just to, again, add more additional nitrogen fixation to, again, always trying to balance. So that's Sudan grass, heavy carbon to nitrogen ratio plants. It's going to mine that nitrate that's going to be trying to slip out of your soil profile, be it a sandy soil or a heavy clay soil. That nitrate's always on the move. It's not getting assimilated. That plant's going to help mine some of those deep-rooted nutrients, going to break up soil compaction. It's going to be drought resistant to some extent, right? More drought tolerant, maybe I should say. And then when you terminate that into the fall, your sun hemp and your beans and things are going to break down really fast to give that initial jump start to your carbon load planting. And your sorghum and your Sudan grass are going to take a little bit longer, add soil coverage, act as weed suppressant, and be a little bit slower release fertilizer when those plants need them later in their growing cycle. So those are the main changes to the mix. We're really, really excited, guys. I mean, the feedback last year on Nitro Boost, more people plant in the fall. So I think statistically, you're always going to have a little bit more positive feedback there. But for the people who planted our Nitro Boost last spring and summer, the feedback was absolutely amazing. From Maine to Kansas to, I'm pretty sure, Texas, but I could be wrong there. But I'm pretty sure we had a grower or two even down by Houston, if I remember correctly, who grew our Nitro Boost with absolutely stellar results. And it's only going to get better from a biomass creation. And that is the goal of the Nitro Boost. I know personally, I'm actually going to be putting a little bit of it next to my garden, just to act as a little bit of pollinator habitat. I'm really excited about that. So I can just have a little bit additional nutrients going to the soil around the garden.